So, we're all really spoiled in 2023 with one of gaming's biggest ever years, with games like Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Legends of Zelda, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, plus many, many more. And so far, it looks like 2024 is going to completely blow us away yet again and treat us to even more epic titles, ranging from much wanted sequels to brand new franchises, and it's safe to say there's going to be something out there for absolutely everyone. So, in this video, I've created a list of some of the most anticipated games coming out next year, and if there are some other games that you're super excited about that I haven't included in this video, why don't you leave a comment afterwards letting us know what that is? And without further ado, let's go ahead and see what's just around the corner. Right, this list is in no particular order, but first up in the list we'll talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which happens to be the second of three entries in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project, which is going to retell the story of one of the most genre-defining RPGs we've seen. After escaping the dystopian city of Midgar, Cloud and his pals set out on a journey across the planet in search of Sephiroth, in a game that promises new adventures that await in a vibrant and vast world. You'll be able to combine strategic thinking with thrilling action combat alongside your comrades. Now, a cool bit of information is, according to the Square Enix website, which of course should be accurate as they're developing the damn thing, is there will be newly added characters, which is definitely a reason for players to return to the franchise for this remake. The game is currently due to release on the 29th of February 2024, aka Leap Year Day, and it will be released initially exclusively on the PlayStation consoles, and then potentially 3 months after that it may come out on PC as well. Now moving on, we have a new first-person fantasy RPG from Obsidian Games, which is set in the same universe as the Pillars of Eternity, and it is called Avowed. It was originally announced back in July of 2021, and fast forward to this year, we got the first trailer for it at the Xbox Game Showcase, which also gave the game a release window of 2024. But other than that, we don't yet have a concrete release date, but it will be available on PC and Xbox Series S and X. If you're a fan of RPGs, then this is a game you should definitely be keeping your eye on, as it provides a variety of combat ranging from magic all the way to melee weapons and firearms, so it should be great for switching playstyles up. It's worth noting the game won't be fully open world, but instead it shall feature several large open zones for players to explore, so I guess it could be classed as partially open world. Next up, we have a game 15 years in waiting, and that is the next game in the Stalker series, and it goes by the name of Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, and it is also the first time the series is making its way over to consoles, as it's going to be released on the Xbox Series S and X alongside PC. Now, this game was initially planned for release a whopping 11 years ago before it was cancelled, though in 2018 development restarted and it made use of the Unreal Engine 5, so expect some top-of-the-range graphics from this first-person shooter survival horror game. That was a mouthful. Anyhow, the game takes place in an area known as the Zone, which is an alternate version of the exclusion zone in Ukraine where the Chernobyl disaster occurred back in 1986. Now, if you're a fan of first-person shooter horrors, or just indeed both, this game is definitely one you should check out. It's due for release in early 2024. Next up in the list we have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is now set to release in 2024 after yet further delays. Though Rocksteady claim this is nothing to do with the public's backlash it faced when we got the showcase of it at Sony's State of Play in 2023. Now something tells me that might be a little bit of a lie. Just a little. Anyway, the current release date for the game is set to be February the 2nd, 2024, so it's actually not that far away at all. Now, sometimes delays could be a good thing, which I suspect may happen with Kill the Justice League, and it could well turn out to be rather surprisingly good. Though those words may bite me on my ass when the game does get released. But in the game, we'll be taking control of Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, or King Shark, and we'll do battle throughout Metropolis against the Justice League, who have been brainwashed. Now, on paper, it's sure to be an action-packed and full of chaos, so definitely one you should be keeping an eye on. Though maybe just wait until the reviews come out before actually purchasing it. Now, Crimson Desert is next on this list, and it's an action RPG set in a medieval fantasy world on the continent of Piwil. I apologise if I said that wrong. And it's been developed and published by Pearl Abyss. You can experience the untold tale of mercenaries struggling through to survive in the unforgiving lands, and whether intentional or not, Our actions will apparently influence the story. Now, who doesn't love a story with two consequences in games, right? Not like Starfield, where the outcome isn't totally affected by what you do. You'll be able to take on all sorts of enemies, and if you've not seen the gameplay trailer yet, I strongly suggest you check it out because the game looks fantastic already. Crimson Desert is currently due to be released towards the back end of 2024, and it will be available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So no exclusives here. Now next up we have a PlayStation 5 exclusive in the form of Rise of the Ronin, and it is being developed by Team Ninja, who gave us the Ninja Gaiden games amongst others, and Rise of the Ronin is an action RPG with combat that is going to feature a wide range of weapons, such as katanas and a variety of Boshin war firearms. The game will supposedly give players the option to choose a side or fight against various NPCs, which apparently affects the story. It is set in Edo in the late 19th century during Bakumatsu, and the game will depict the Boshin War. Now, currently, the game is set to release on March 22nd, 2024, all being well, so it's only a couple of months away. Now let's talk about a game that has God knows how many delays, but as of the 11th of December, which is when I'm recording the audio for this, we finally have a release date for it, and it's of course Skull and Bones, and the release date is the 16th of February 2024. Now, considering the game was initially revealed to the gaming world back in 2017, that is a long ass bout of delays. It is an action-adventure game which is being developed by Ubisoft, and it will be available on current-gen consoles and PC. As the name suggests, Skull and Bones revolves around piracy and naval warfare with a fantastical setting during the 17th century, i.e. the golden age of piracy. We'll be able to customise our pirate ships, and we can play single player or with our pals. And it's set to be a pretty darn fun pirate game, and I for one am excited for its release. Let's hope it doesn't fall on its ass after all of these delays. Next up is a sequel over 10 years in the making, and that is Dragon's Dogma 2. It is of course an action RPG published by Capcom, and it's set to be released on the 22nd of March on current gen consoles and PC. The sequel is set to take place in a parallel world compared to the first game, with a map that is said to be 4 times larger than the first as well. Pretty damn big, right? We'll follow Arisen, who has had his heart stolen by the dragon, that cheeky bugger, but we can play as Arisen or as a main pawn with a customizable personality, and the game is set in the middle of a war between the two kingdoms, Vermund and the Batal. As you may or may not predict, Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to introduce new monsters, which is exciting. You can now pre-order the game as it's only a few months away. So let's talk about Star Wars Outlaws, and this is probably one of the games I'm most excited about, besides GTA 6, but that's not going to be here in 2024. So, Star Wars Outlaws is due to take place between Episode 4, A New Hope, and Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, at a time when the war between the Empire and the Rebellion is in full swing. This is the first true open-world Star Wars game. I suppose they don't class it as Survivor, I guess. Anyway, the game is third person, and we will take the role of Kay Vass, who is a smuggler and caught in the middle of the wider events around her. The latest trailer we saw from Ubisoft showed off fighting, stealth, and some story elements, so if you haven't seen that already, you should definitely go and check that out. Now, we don't have a concrete release date yet for Star Wars Outlaws, but it's said to be scheduled for release in 2024. I do have some games that I'll class as special mentions because very little information, if anything at all, is known about their release dates, as of the creation of this video anyway. Watch now, I've said that, I'll release this video and information about the release dates of all 3 will come out shortly afterwards. Typical. The first special mention is Marvel's Wolverine, which is being developed by Insomniac Games, the same studios behind the highly successful and frankly downright awesome Spider-Man games. Now, if Wolverine happens to be anywhere near as good as those games, it'll be a freaking great game. The game was originally revealed back in 2021, but we don't know much more about it at this point, 2 years down the line. But there is every chance they could have it ready for a holiday release in 2024, although 2025 may seem a bit more likely. Now, Insomniac have said it's going down a more adult tone with Wolverine, with attempts to keep their character tone true to the DNA, and that's what makes Wolverine so popular. It's certainly one to keep an eye on. Now, a game that we know even less about is the next title in the Witcher series, and that was announced way back in March of 2022. Now, quite frankly, I think The Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games ever created, so CD Projekt Red have a lot to live up with this new one. And with the recent release of Cyberpunk 2077 2.0 and the Phantom Liberty expansion, I'd like to bet that a huge chunk of those developers have now been moved across to the Witcher project. It's highly unlikely it'll be released in 2024, but there's a good chance we'll get new information about it next year, which is why I've included it as a special mention in this video. Now, it would be rude for me, as a YouTuber who has God knows how many No Man's Sky videos, not to mention Light No Fire, which is an up-and-coming ambitious project from Hello Games. Now, this time, instead of giving players a universe to explore, this time we'll get the chance to explore an Earth-sized fantasy planet to bend to our liking. It is a game about adventure, building, survival, and exploration together. Now, Hello Games put it well by saying it brings the depth of a role-playing game to the freedom of a survival sandbox. Something truly ambitious, so I cannot wait for it to come out. Now, the trailer for this game looks absolutely stunning, and whilst we don't really have too much information on the game itself, it's unlikely we'll be getting our hands on it in 2024. Though, the studio did say they're doing a less extensive marketing campaign compared to No Man's Sky because, well, that went a bit shite. So keep your eyes peeled for more information on Light No Fire in 2024. Well, there you have it, folks. There are a bunch of games that we know are releasing in 2024, along with a couple of special mentions which have an outside chance of hitting our consoles and PCs before the year is out. Now, which of the games that I've mentioned in this video are you looking forward to the most? And are there any games you're looking forward to that are coming out next year that I've failed to mention in this video? If so, let me know in the comments below. And if you're still here, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. And finally, as always, thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one.